10 days to go, Zambia will be observing the declaration of it being a Christian nation, as it were, by the second Republican president then in Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba on the 29th of December 1991 did declare Zambia as a Christian nation, as well as ensuring that this day is actually observed. Although critiques have been piling up in terms of the Christian values being that have been potentially highlighted or suggested. These are other stories that we shall continue to delve into in as far as the Tuesday edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show is concerned, and other issues relating to the demolition that we've indeed witnessed within the past few weeks, especially here in Lusaka. What is your take when it comes to all those issues? This is what you have to look forward for in as far as today's edition of the Breakfast Show is concerned. I'm your host, Nelson Zulu, and I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with my co-host in Vincent Piri. Good morning, Vincent.
Good morning, Mr. Zulu. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. You look fresh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Tuesday, and just like they would say, we need to keep it positive when the festive season and everything has to be on high alert, as we ensure that we transition into 2024 with so much energy and so much
positivity.
Positivity, yeah, right? Yeah, very important. Just like that way, we shall be going direct into our first segment, which is the Health Corner, where we get to have insights from Dr. Nakubiana Mufwaya.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubiana Mufwaya. So this week we want to talk about something that is affecting many people, and so many people are having this condition mostly because they are at risk of having this condition. So we want to talk about stroke. We'll talk about what is a stroke or what is stroke, and also we'll talk about some of the risk factors and causes of a stroke. How does it come about? How does one get stroke? And also we'll discuss how it's diagnosed and how it can be treated in the hospital. And we'll also talk about what you can do to prevent yourself from getting a stroke. So today we'll discuss what is a stroke. A stroke usually occurs in the brain, and it's caused by having brain cells that are damaged due to lack of oxygen or lack of blood flow to that part of the brain. So a stroke is brain damage that occurs due to lack of blood flow to that part of the brain or due to a blockage in the brain. So there are different types of stroke that one person or a person can have, and depending on the type of stroke, the treatment also varies for the different types of stroke. So we have three main types of stroke. The first one is what we call ischemic stroke. So ischemic stroke usually occurs when there's a blockage in a vessel or a blood vessel in the brain. So this blockage can be due to a blood clot that has come from somewhere else in the body. It can also be due to high cholesterol. So if there's a buildup of cholesterol in the body, it can form clots in certain blood vessels. So the other thing that can cause ischemic stroke is buildup of certain compounds that can cause blockages, especially calcium compounds that can cause blockages in some vessels and cause blockages, and it can lead to having a stroke. So the second type of stroke that is there is known as hemorrhagic stroke. A hemorrhagic stroke usually occurs when there's a bleed in the brain. So a blood vessel has ruptured in the brain, if there's a blood vessel that has ruptured in the brain, then it can cause blood to leak into the brain tissues, and that can cause a stroke. So the other type of stroke, the third type of stroke is a mini stroke. We call it a mini stroke because it doesn't last for a very long time. Usually it lasts for about an hour. If it extends, then it resolves within 24 hours. So this is known as a transient ischemic attack, or a TIA. So when you have a TIA, you present with symptoms that are more of a stroke. You have a mini stroke basically. So there's a blockage, which may be a partial blockage in the brain, but the blood flow is still there. So the symptoms of having a stroke might be there, but they might not be very, very significant. So, and they might not last for too long. So somebody might even, some might even last for about 30 minutes to an hour. And if it extends, it might last for 24 hours, but it usually resolves by the time it's 24 hours. So those are the three main types of stroke that are there. And so with these types of stroke, people can present differently, and tomorrow we'll discuss some of the causes of stroke, what really happens, like what are some of the risk factors for people that have stroke that can cause them to have stroke. So today we were learning what is a stroke, and we say that stroke occurs when there's brain injury that is caused by a blockage or a bleed in the brain that causes that part of the brain to have less oxygen and less blood supply. And so you end up having symptoms of somebody that has a stroke that we'll talk about on a different day. So make sure that you watch The Breakfast Show here on Camnet TV, and we'll see you next time.
Nakubiana Mufwaya right there, just trying to give us insight when it comes to issues of stroke. Hopefully you've learned one or two things, but right about now, let's transition directly into our money market and look at how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles on the international market. Wow, as you have it on your screen, the euro is buying at 27 kwacha 04 ngwe, selling at 27 kwacha 58 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 31 kwacha 36 ngwe and selling at 31 kwacha 98 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 1 kwacha 34 ngwe, selling at 1 kwacha 36 ngwe. The United States dollar is buying at 24 kwacha 75 ngwe and selling at 25 kwacha 24 ngwe. As you can see, there's a slight increase in as far as the dollar is faring against the major convertibles on the market, because yesterday we were seeing the dollar was selling at somewhere 25 kwacha 9 ngwe. And remember that these exchange rates that you are seeing on your screen are actually they depend, or they're different according to bank, and they've been updated as early as 7/17. And maybe you might walk into a bank, you find yourself that maybe the dollar has even shot up or it has reduced. But I don't know how things get to work there and then. But you've been following up issues relating to the dollar, the depreciation of the kwacha. Yes. Are you able to bring us to the speed in terms of what really this means, especially that we're at such a season where everyone is expectant of having that chicken per Christmas
and
rice.
And obviously we are going into 2024, and so the expectations are high that maybe as we go into a new year, we'll have a different narrative. Looking at what we have right now, I think it's unfortunate because it's sucking people's pockets. So we are hopeful that come 2024, the dollar, at least the kwacha, will be performing better. I'm aware that government has put in place certain measures. Among them is the framework that will regulate the export revenues. So this will see to it that every property or every good that is exported, the money comes back to the Zambian banks, and maybe, who knows, we may have enough dollars in our system, and which will be a positive narrative to our kwacha.
Today is known, but tomorrow is never known, and indeed we keep that positivity levels very high and hope for the better. In as much as we are hoping for the better, you too can be part of this conversation in calling us or giving us your views on our Facebook platform as well as our YouTube platform. But right about now, we're going to our next segment, which is zooming the stories that made headlines in our previous bulletin. And some of the stories that we're looking at this morning, even as we get to usher in our first guest, as we talk about issues relating to the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. Are we really living up to that condition of Zambia being a Christian nation? But the first stories that we get to look at the segment of zooming headlines is the story coming through from the opposition political leaders who have described 2023 as a challenging year politically, accusing the ruling party of trying by all means to silence the voices of those offering checks and balances. The latest being New Heritage Party leader Shalakateka, who says 2023 has been characterized by shrinking democratic space as well as economic hardship. Meanwhile, economic freedom fighters EFF leader Kasonde Mwenda says 2023 has proved that the UPND government is not open to advice. And we also get to look at another story from the courts where an Egyptian aviation management company, Ibis Air Property Limited director Ba Fahiz Muhammad Adamsi has told the Economic and Financial Crimes Court High Court Division that the jet that was involved in the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport God saga cannot be forfeited to the Zambian government as it is not a product of the alleged crimes that were committed. We get to look at those stories and we'll be back shortly on the other side as we transition into our first interview this morning.
13 days to 2024, opposition political party leaders have described the year 2023 as a challenging year for the opposition political players in the country. They say 2023 has been a year of trials and tribulations both in the political and economic spheres. Economic freedom fighters EFF leader Kasonde Mwenda says 2023 has been a testament that the UPND government is not open to advice.
2023 for us has been a year of so many trials, temptations and tribulations. It has also unmasked what kind of people we have in power. They are actually more ruthless, more hard-hearted than we thought. They have seen the fortunes of this country crumble. The only people that are enjoying are foreigners, but there has been no way to show that they really care about Zambians. Political parties are being crumbled on. Right now, we don't even know who owns PF because we have seen the UPND using government machinery, even sponsor divisions, even sponsor confusions. They are sponsoring confusion not only there. For those who are standing on truth like we are doing, they are now physically man-hunting us, beating us up.
National Democratic Congress NDC leader Savo Imboera has described this year as a difficult year for both an ordinary Zambian, more so politicians.
2023 has not really been a good year, especially for the opposition. I think we are seeing that there was an increase in the arrest of the opposition political party leaders. Almost all the opposition political party leaders are in court right now. So that has not really been good. It has increased, contributed to the increased democratic space shrinking, So that has been very bad. And also, if you look at the human rights record of the UPND, I think the human rights are being violated. Apart from the opposition political party leaders, just the media have been victims. If you look at the economy also, things have been very, very bad. We have seen the dollar now is trading at 25 kwacha. We have seen the standard ratio increasing within a short period of time.
Meanwhile, New Heritage Party leader Shalakateka has spoken to the highly debated shrinking democratic space in the country.
2023 has been rather a challenging year for politicians and for ordinary Zambians. For politicians, firstly, because we've seen the shrinking space, democratic space, where a lot of politicians have been either destabilized or put in cells, not allowed to hold rallies, something that is very, very concerning. And we've seen the Mingalato of the UPND, which we are, as New Heritage Party, we are calling upon even ordinary Zambians to worry about and to do something about.
And Citizens First President Harry Kalaba says the UPND government should do better in the coming year, especially concerning pieces of legislation like the Public Order Act to guarantee space for the opposition in the country.
We are praying that come 2024, this government is going to annihilate the Public Order Act or the Public Gathering Act, whatever they want to call it. 2024 must be a year when this UPND government should stop talking the talk, but walking the talk.
2023 has been a politically charged year, with cries over the shrinking democratic space in the country being a motion of debate, which politicians and civil society organizations, among others, accuse the government of restricting the opposition from engaging their supporters. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The legal battle in the alleged gold scam case continued to unfold before the court of law as an Egyptian company, Ibis Air Property Limited Director Ba Faiz Mohamed Adamsi has told the Economic and Financial Crimes Court High Court Division that the jet which was involved in the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport gold scam is not liable for forfeiture as it is not a product of the alleged crimes. Adamsi submits before the Lusaka High Court that the jet is not a tainted property, neither the manager company nor the owner of the jet, nor is it connected to any person who may have committed any serious crime. This follows the Director of Public Prosecution application in October 2023 to the Economic and Financial Crimes Court to have properties seized in the Goldgate scam forfeited to the state on account of them being tainted properties. The properties in question, which include the Global Express T7 WSS jet, $5.69 million, 602 pieces of brass pellets, 5 pistols with 126 rounds of ammunition, 11 pistol magazines, a drilling machine, and a central processing unit. But in an affidavit, in opposition to affidavit in support of originating notice of motion, Adamsi tells the court that there is no requirement, either by law or industrial practice in the aviation industry, for the owner of the aircraft to contact or be aware of the clients and particulars of the people who rent an aircraft from the management company. He says, as such, the management company is under no obligation to inquire the work history of the client beyond what is necessary to determine the rates, the safety of the jet, and operation as per the International Civil Aviation Organization guidelines. Ibis Air Property Limited submits through its director that the procedure of seizing the jet is irregular, as the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act differentiates between property and premises, of which the jet is defined as a premise and not property. Mr. Adamsi argues that the seizure of the jet has not been effected properly in terms of the provisions of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act, and submits that the management company has no connection with the passengers who are on board of the jet for their wrongs to be imputed on either management or the owner of the jet. The Egypt Aviation Company Director submits that when Michael Botros approached the company to rent the jet for 3 hours on 13th August 2023, he informed the management company that there would be no cargo. In the affidavit in opposition to the affidavit in support of originating notice of motion, Aviation Management Company of Egypt Ibis Air Property Limited Director Ba Faiz Mohamed Adamsi submits that it would be a gross injustice to have the jet forfeited to the Zambian government on allegation of it being tainted as a result of the alleged offences of the persons who rented it. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka. Thank you so much. Those are some of the stories that indeed we did mention that we're going to be zooming in, and as far as zooming the headlines is concerned. But right about now, we get to transition into our first interview, just like I did indicate earlier, that we are almost 10 days to observing the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation, and potentially there's also been an uproar from some stakeholders saying, why is it that the declaration was basically maybe specified to the Christian community? Is it that these other religions in the country are not given the much needed support or that cognizance that has to be there? And also questions of whether or not the country is living up to the standard when it comes to the issue relating to observing the Christian nation values. And in studios we're joined by Reverend Mwaona Zulu, who is a committee member from the Declaration of Zambia the Council. Good morning, Reverend.
Morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Very well. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I know this is a very important day that the country is looking forward to. But first thing first, there are concerns that the country has not been living up to the Christian values that really need to be looked at. Your perspective on this issue?
I think what I can say on that one is that it's not that the Christians or the people live 100% a Christian life. The only person who is able to live 100% as a Christian is Christ himself. So each and every person has got its own defects or effects. Yes, so we expect one or two things not to be right, but we expect at least 90% of things to be right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now let's move on to the day itself, the 29th of December 2023. I know that there might be activities that are really coming up in terms of observing this day and the importance of this day as a declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation.
Thank you. There is a national committee which is called the National Committee for the Declaration of Zambia Christian Nation, and it has put up some events that are taking place where on 29th we are celebrating the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. And this day is the day to celebrate actually as Christians. We have Christmas where we celebrate, then we also have the declaration of Zambia Christian nation. Therefore, we have what is known as a Covenant Week, where people, the committee, the national committee, will go flat out into the field to bless the community. We bless the orphans, the disabled or able people. Then also we call, there is what is known as covenant children. These are the children that are born on the 29th. So on this very day, we go into the hospitals to bless these children. Yes, and also on the actual day now of the 29th, we are marching from North Mid Assemblies of God up to Murungushi Conference Center, Kenneth Kaunda Wing, where the event will take place. So this day the government actually has allowed us to gather from morning up to 16 hours. So it's the whole day event. This day is different from the National Day of Prayer, because National Day of Prayer we are talking about the reconciliation with God, reconciliation with man, repentance, then also meaning that it's more of prayers. But this day now, 29th of December, it's more of thanksgiving and also celebrating for being a Christian nation.
From 1991, 29th of December to date, this day has been celebrated. What could be the importance of this day, maybe to somebody who's new or is a new generation and doesn't know about this day, that it does exist, or someone who's at 12 years, at 14, and then they're not sure about the importance of this day?
Yes, yes. I think some may not understand or maybe know how important it is, but this day is very, very important. Looking at we have the nations which are Islamic nations, and then we are blessed that Zambia is a Christian nation. Remember that even Israel is not a Christian nation. It's not declared, but Zambia has declared itself to say we are a Christian nation. The importance is that Zambia is dedicated to God. Then God now is the one who is in charge of this nation. This is why you find that even the activities are different from other countries. In the political circle, Zambia is the peaceful nation actually. We are able to change president from one to another party, from one political party to another party. But in other nations, it's bloodshed. Then also, it's very not easy in Zambia for someone to shed blood. But we have seen in other nations where we heard about xenophobia, where people kill each other without regard of the dignity of the humanity action. But in Zambia, we respect that. Now, this does not come naturally. It's because God is in charge of this land. So these are some of the importance. Then also that fear of the Lord. You know, when you declare to say, I belong to this one, or this is where I belong, even that person feels good to say, this one is mine, and like we just live. So the declaration itself gives God at a dirty happiness to say, this nation is mine, I am in charge. Then also the people under the nation also, they live with that fear to say, we belong to God. There are certain things that we cannot do, there are things that we can do.
Have you explained the significance of this day? Others have argued that there's no need to keep on observing this day when the country lives contrary to what the values of Christianity are. For instance, we've got people that do engage in criminal activities. We've got people that don't have respect for their parents. We've got people that don't have respect for Christian values. Why should this day continue to be observed?
Looking at the Bible itself, let's look at the children of Israel. The 10 commandments were not given to the world. It was given to the people who belonged to God. When Jesus came, he didn't come for the Gentiles. He specifically stated that he came to the Jews. Now, when you look at these things, you find that if the commandments are given to the people who already belongs to God, what is it that they were doing in order to give them the 10 commandments or the commandments or the statutes? Then after giving them also, we observe the people being stoned, people dying because of not following the law. That means there were people who were not doing what was supposed to be done. So even us today, it's wrong to say, for the people to say no, because there are people who do not follow the law, who do not do according to what Christianity demands. They are doing things contrary to the Bible. Then therefore we don't deserve to be a Christian nation. That is wrong. That is opening the door to the devil. What I can tell you is that the devil is fighting so hard for this declaration to be removed, so that Zambia becomes a secular nation. Now, when Zambia becomes a secular nation, you have opened the door for the devil. He begins to rule. And now those people who do such things, not only them, but even the church itself, it will be lured into doing wrong things. And then the nation now will be like other nations. So the importance of being a Christian nation is that now, at least we have the fear of the Lord. It's very important when someone does wrong, then he comes back to God to say, to his senses, to say, what I've done is wrong. And there is this punishment coming, or my God is not happy. These are things that we need to observe. So, when a church, let's talk about the church where the church itself, or maybe the pastor, the man who leads the church has sinned. You find a man of God is drunkard. Then you say, no, because the man of God is drunkard, then there is no need to have a church. That means you have gone astray. Because Jesus came for the sinner, not for the righteous. So even now, the sinners are there. The sinners are there. People who do wrong there are there. In the land called the Christian nation. It's normal. So therefore, there is need now for one to go back to God, because there is somewhere where they can go back to. It's very dangerous when a person sins and he doesn't feel any guilty, because he doesn't belong to, he doesn't feel like there is someone who is monitoring or someone who is in charge of that person. That's the significance of this day.
Okay, now I think let me do a follow-up question on, we've seen cases of GBV going up, and also maybe the issues of corruption and whatnot. What is it that the committee, your committee, is doing to ensure that it speaks out on that issues?
Okay, it's not only about speaking out, but it's about finding the solution to what is happening. One of the issues that I want to tell you is that the committee itself is involved to see to it that we pray for the issues of GBV, yes, is praying over it. Then not only that, but we are sensitizing churches also to teach over the dangers of GBV. It's very, very sad that in a land called Christian nation, you find that people are killing each other, people injuring each other, and a lot is happening actually when it comes to marriage. Therefore, the committee, not only the committee, but the church itself has come in to see to it that we reduce to that. So this is the role that we have taken. It's prayer, then also sensitizing the churches over that. Then also when it comes to corruption, it's prayer, not only prayer, but involve what the Bible says about the truth and being truthful, being honest, to do things rightly. These are the things that we are teaching the people. Then also now, I want to tell you that each and every politician is coming from a particular church. So as we are, as far as the committee is doing its work, then also the churches where our politicians are coming from, it's not good for us to not to talk to them. It's very important to approach them because they are our sons. Because each and every politician comes from the church and he's got a father or a spiritual father. So it's these fathers, us fathers now, to talk to our sons to say, what you are doing is wrong, what you are supposed to do is ABCD. Then we'll see reduction of corruption in the nation.
Coming back to the day itself, what's the role of a common Zambian like me in commemorating that day?
We have invited each and every person, and you are also invited on this day. We want each and every person to come and fellowship with us at Mulungushi, celebrate with us at Mulungushi Conference Center. Then also in each and every province, the government is involved, and there are places where people are meeting. So we are inviting each and every person to take part on this day. Then each one of us, each and every person must take note of this day to say it's a very, very important day. Because if we don't take care of this day, other religion will come in and then they declare it. It means Christianity is wiped out. Then now we shall live like other nations. Yes.
Well, even as we come to a close, your concluding remarks when it comes to the issue of declaring Zambia as a Christian nation and going forward, what we really need to see, how do we make sure that this day is also sustained for generations to come?
Our emphasis is to, what I can say is that the government is watching over this day. Remember that in the preamble of the Constitution, it is declared that Zambia is a Christian nation, which is a very, very good thing. But I want to tell you that this day is not gazetted. That's not good for the nation. So, as the government is watching, it wants to see our seriousness, so that we can appeal now to the government to gazette this day, so that it is gazetted. Then it means even generations to come, they are able to celebrate this day. But if it is not gazetted, automatically other people, it's very easy to come in and cancel it. It only remains in the Constitution. Even in the Constitution, other people can come and remove it. So, as the nation, we are urging, I believe and trust that 97% of the population of Zambia, they are Christians. Therefore, wherever you are, I am appealing to you that on the 29th of December, we are celebrating the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. Therefore, you are all invited. This day is a very cardinal day for the believers in the Lord. Yes.
Well, someone might be asking out there, is it to pay? Could you hook up something, carry attached so that I'm part of this day and be a member of the committee?
No. You know, the committee, the way it is not such a big committee. The committee is just the organizing committee, which has been put in place just to organize this day that it comes to pass. But this day is for everyone. It's for every Zambian. So it's just the national committee that has been put in place to bring people together to celebrate. It's not that one should maybe pay to become a committee. All of us, each and every Zambian is a committee to this wonderful event. So that's an appeal. It's not payable. It's totally free.
We've been having a conversation with Reverend Maona Zulu, committee member for Zambia Declaration as a Christian Nation Committee, who's just been giving us a perspective or insights even as we build up to that day. 10 days to go from now, on the 29th of December, Zambia will be celebrating the commemoration of it being a Christian nation as enshrined or as declared by then Second Republican President in Mr. Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba in 1991. And right about now, we take a very short break and we're back on the other side.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Thank you for staying tuned to Camnet TV Breakfast Show on a Tuesday. And now we move into our story that we get to look at in the zooming headlines. And once we do that, we'll also transition into another interview as we talk all issues of demolition that we've seen in the past few weeks within Lusaka. The first one being that was done at Kawata Market, that's somewhere near the community hall, and followed by another demolition that was conducted at Kamwala area near Universal Church, and that of Sunday at Big Mose area in Kamwala Market. Now let's get to look at some of these stories that made headlines yesterday, and the story that made headlines as well on Sunday of similar nature. Now, traders whose shops were demolished by the Lusaka City Council on Sunday, 17th December 2023, have refuted claims by the local authority that they were trading illegally. One of the affected traders, Matthew Piri, says they were paying levies to the council and they were given offer letters to mount temporary structures. Meanwhile, some traders have complained that they were not informed regarding the demolition. We get to look at these two stories and we'll be back shortly on the other side as we talk all issues. What is the solution to these traders that are being displaced right now?
The displacement of poor Zambians trying to make ends meet has continued. Barely 2 weeks after the Lusaka City Council demolished more than 100 makeshift structures in Kamwala near Universal Church, another group of traders trading from Kamwala's Big Mose area have suffered the same fate. Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Bulumba Nyambe says the structures were built on privately owned land without permission from the council or the landowner.
The shops were built on privately owned land without permission from the owner or the local authority. The demolition follows a court order that was obtained by the legal landowner. Thereafter, an enforcement notice was issued by the council to the squatters to vacate the premises. The operation was conducted between 01 hours and 06:30 hours to restore law and order and to prevent further encroachment on the land. The officers had no choice but to remove these illegal structures that were posing a threat to public safety and order. The traders were operating without licenses and were also not paying any tax or fees to the council.
Some of the affected traders say the council could have notified them before moving in to demolish their stores to enable them salvage their merchandise. The land in question is believed to be owned by a Chinese national. These helpless traders wonder why government has put the plight of foreign nationals first instead of its people.
Change anatifuna tifunika yoneke no twazingo tipirikisha taendao kutaendao kutina wananshiwa bambiri bantu wani ma business ni yamankongodo pesa simaloni elo manje mwebangenira so batira matia gas
ashapu yapwanye panisa baibirana bana and then manje makatundi yale bapeleka kucha tigulisa almost the same tizazi babwanji utichinchanga ichisichanga tizazi babwanji bachirekerera ba government titapapa taimilira mponi mutanzirire bantu government tirira bagani kombo nimo munabwera pa ground especially bagani kombo munabwera pa ground ndiyamana tiuza ntuza na emphasize kaziri pirani tiripira kukanzu manje tizaenda kuti mu street banapisha mashop yanetina zimangira teka babwanya tizaenda kuti fe
Kamwala batipwanyira mastandi ma shops yatu and then 42 bapwanya without ma notice not pasa ma notice bagwera cho usiku kupwanya na katundu batenga manti zasebenza bwanji tizangala bwanji inkani number last year tikungo kamba hapo kupe boma yamene mushtalau ma foreigners babwera ba state ya kilini takamba talema katundu lelo manje taruza
Meanwhile, area councillor Maindas Matam has apologized to the affected traders, further assuring that he will do his best to relocate them within the market structure soon as he comes back from a working tour in Chipata.
As area councillor for that area, I should have been informed by Lusaka City Council about their intention to carry out demolition. I would have been given an opportunity to engage the marketeers so that we can minimize the losses. As things stand now, a lot of people have lost property worth millions of kwacha at a time when livelihood or living is very, very difficult. Continue to engage with the marketeers to see how best they can be relocated and accommodated within the same market.
This comes a week after Camnet TV News carried a story where some traders whose stores were demolished near Universal Church accused the local authority of misplacing their merchandise.
So to the affected sana tuadile ku civic center bambi katundu tatoa imweni but that katundu onseli kwisa civic center.
For now, their lives are stranded and their hope is that they'll be able to start over soon. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
In a bid to clean Lusaka City, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, with the help of Lusaka City Council, have been demolishing illegal market structures around the Central Business District since July 2023. And in the early hours of Sunday, traders at the Kamwala Market, Big Mose area, woke up to their shops demolished by the Lusaka City Council Police, following a court order obtained by the owner of the said piece of land to have the traders removed from the premises as they were allegedly trading there illegally. The affected traders, who stormed Civic Center Monday morning to recover their seized goods from the council, are unhappy with the manner in which the demolition was conducted. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Matthew Spiri, one of the affected traders, says the traders did not illegally operate on the said piece of land, but were given offer letters by the Lusaka City Council to put up temporary structures since 2018.
So city planning almost a month. So from there and paja mungankale ma offer letters ni. So offer letters from starting paying almost 617 for 3 months. Ya paja so tinapata lipira so ndiye kwamba kulipira ma levies paja almost enzeli pa first paja enzeli almost 199 etengwe somewhere that paja after that dandaula tabula ku finance takamba nao ndiye pane wanaileta pa 125 tamba kulipira. Then tidaba news yesterday ba spokesperson wakamba spokesperson wakambati tidibema paper documents ya yonse paja ma papers ya mene ya paja ma offer letters whatever, but first was not apply ila choka offer letter na 2023 ilipo ya mene banati still renew this year mu January banati pasa tidinayo pamela pana ma receipt na choka kulipira pa last week na choka kulipira pa Thursday na pa Friday. Tinalipira November, December yonse. Paja pantu tinabwerepoteka, tinabwera through of council, city planning, ndiye banatipasa paja pantu.
Other traders spoken to are disappointed in Lusaka City Council for failing to communicate to the traders in good time and want their goods retained in full, stating that that's their only source of income.
Nilikuwa na shop pa Kamwala. Ma shops yana pwanya pa Friday pa Saturday night. Penzeli shop yanga imozi ndine Land Road pano penilili. Paja pa ma shops yana pwanya mu bantu ndiye sungira bana. Ndiye petenzo semenzela pali ma lives y'abantu bambiri. And chat tabwisa nchintu chingati nchintu chimozi. Muno mu country sindife ma foreigners ni mu country mwatu. Number 2, why wanabopwanya usiku? Number 3, why wanatupase ma notice letters at there so na so tuzabopwanya so tazivakoenda. Netikachita ignore beve manje nga wanangena hapo manje no shitabwa ino bopwanya. Manje wanapwanya without ife kuziba stina zivepo tinamvera che bantu batumira mafona tuku bambopwanya. Moreover makatundi ebenzo odaba paja bantu rete nzo oda paja mwe bantu ni $2 pa ilipa 22 point chakuti. Bambili bachosa makatundu kosiana bena
na question ni mozi kuliba council kaplan wa government kaplan mandani kaya. Time yemezo bopwanya. Waisi wanatipase manotisi kuti diaso tibopwanya mkachusa makatundu yani. Tinafika cha it was just like a robbery. There was no notice, there was no anything. Tinapokelea che ma phone calls usiku from one of our friends wako watumia kuma phone atibapwanya. So pe tinafika kuja, tinafika mtown kuma 23, some of us tinafika fast. So pe tinafika kuja, tinapeza bakapokola, babloka konsi. Ise, personal, tinapa petese. Tisabena ma shop na makista kwa nayo. Tipempa ako, tingene chose makatundu ya tuanakamba no, we're working under operation. Kuribe wetizapa sa chance kuenda huko. So not about civic center to come and fight for our things. So kuna na kwa hivyo tukasa ma procedure so tuna NRC tilembesa vintu vya mashop na vonsi. So stiza kuna lazati pasa lelo kapna procedure banji yetiza konkaka. Otherwise tafutika ngamezo zwa twafuno bolo kwanya paja kushusa katundu. Why sana tuuze kwa jama shops yetu na ese renting achapi. There is no way muntu angabwele and pasa notice kamba tidea so ukachose katundu ni kana chosa katundu yenza kati shops yanga. I'm just a youth. I don't work. Business ndiye parent wanga man orphan business ndiye parent wanga business ndiye ninkalilamu to sustain myself.
Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Nyambe Ulumba says all the goods that were seized from the Kamwala Market Big Mose area are safe and the traders can go to Civic Center to claim and identify their goods at any time.
Demolition of some makeshift stores that we undertook yesterday in Kamwala, particularly at the area known as Big Mose.
traders have started trooping in to come and collect their merchandise, and I can confidently say that their goods are in safe custody at a civic center. So a good number of them today has started coming in to collect their goods. So there's nothing to worry about, everything is in safe hands.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Concerns have indeed been heightening in terms of issues relating to the current economic challenges, and those that have also been adversely affected are households, not forgetting small businesses. And now the biggest and hottest issue is that of a spate of demolition activities that have taken place, and a lot of people are now questioning the motive behind this demolition, because reasons have been given that, you know, you're trading on illegal land, but why have you been collecting levies? These are also concerns that have been outpouring. But in studio, to help us understand what are some of the solutions that the traders should look out for, and as far as these displacements are concerned, is Stanley Mubasa, all the way from the Socialist Party's the National Youth spokesperson. Good morning, Stanley Mubasa, sir. Welcome to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show.
I'm grateful to be here, and good morning to you, and good morning to our viewers.
Well, I'm sure you're privy to what is currently happening. We saw a demolition that started with the Kawata market, rather, somewhere there near Community Hall.
In fact, it started with Universal, then it came here, it went back,
and then went to Kamwala. Your reaction as someone who is a youth and someone who understands issues relating to business?
Well, I think the most important thing to recognize is that what has been happening is that these people have been trying to survive, to earn a living out of those small businesses. As you may be aware, the informal sector today in Zambia employs a lot of people more than the formal sector. So the informal sector plays a very, very big role in providing a living for many of our people. As you may be aware, the unemployment levels in this country are extremely high. The informal sector caters for both the educated and the uneducated. So for me, who is a youth, a young person who knows the challenges of these people and the difficulties that we are facing, especially now that the economy has continued to nosedive, it's a pity. It brings a lot of pain, a lot of sad memories, and I don't know how best to describe it, but I think it's total disaster. The businesses have been destroyed. Their living conditions continue to shrink. We don't know what next.
But reliance has been placed that, you see, these traders have been trading illegally, and as a council, we're just moving in to do our job and ensure that we clean up a mess that has been there.
Indeed, to clean up the mess, they say. But, comrade, I want you to understand one thing. The Lusaka City Council has been there for quite some time. And those people trading that place have not been trading there for a short period of time. They've been there for a long period of time. And if you want to move these people out because there is a court order to move them out and this area is not theirs, it's owned by some foreign investor, why can't you give them an ultimatum, a period of time to say, within this period, we don't expect you to be here, move your merchandise, move your makeshifts elsewhere, or the same Lusaka City Council, find them where to trade. They move them away from where they are said to be trading illegally and take them where they can identify as a place where they can trade from. And then they will have conserved their makeshifts, which cost a lot of money to put up. That makeshift, comrade, I was doing a research, it cost not less than 10,000 kwacha. Just that structure you see there, it costs not less than 10,000 kwacha. So you destroy that and you destroy the property inside the makeshift. How much have you destroyed? So the best is find an alternative place to take them, let them go there, and then now you can come now and clear the place. But I don't think an illegality, yes, it could be an illegality. I don't think an illegality can be sorted by conducting another illegality. Because demolition of a property of that kind, I don't think it's legal. I don't think so. How legal is it if you are destroying somebody's property? Is it permitted to destroy somebody's property? It isn't.
But the council is arguing that those people were notified somewhere around June, July, and I don't know if they refused to move their properties and their stores. What's not clear, however, is how much time they were given. So maybe just to work around the issues of communication, how should the council go about it?
Well, I think that Comrade Vincent, I watched that clip, and I think it's you who did the news, who made the follow-up. You've been very, very, very serious about this story. You've been going to Kamwara. I've been noticing. I watch Camnet TV on a daily basis. I follow your programs every day in the morning. The traders you interviewed there are saying they were not notified. So if the Lusaka City Council says they had notified them, then who did they notify? Because the traders in that video clip are saying they were not notified, and they're actually crying that they should have been informed, because the merchandise that they picked from those containers, they took them to their, others were stolen, others were taken to the Lusaka City Council, and they're saying these items are similar. So how are they going to identify that this is these are my products, these are my items, or these are yours? It's difficult. So meaning, even if they picked some of those and took them somewhere there, it would be very difficult for them to identify. And we also know, let me put it on record, we also know that there are also some criminal, we have been told, reliably told, that there are some criminal elements at the Lusaka City Council. In the operation, as they carry out these operations, when they grab these items and they take them there, there is also thievery there. It is also one way of looting people's properties. Now you are grabbing property from people that are already impoverished. They want to earn a living in the name of cleaning up the mess, so that this foreign investor can come and take over the land. In the process, you, who is supposed to now, protect the citizens, the traders, you go and perpetuate stealing of their items. Because some of them have been complaining that their items are nowhere to be seen. Where have they gone? Have they developed legs? Who has stolen the items? So these thieving activities, we keep receiving reports that there are some thieving activities at the Lusaka City Council. Who is stealing? Is it council police? Is it Zambia police? Who is involved in the stealing of these items of these people? It is wrong.
Now, the other argument from the council is that they are doing this for public health concerns. Don't you think it's prudent that they carry out such operations?
It is important to carry out such operations and ensure that the health standards are at acceptable levels, yes. But should it also be done without a sense of dignity? Should it be done without a sense of respect for the poor? Why haven't we seen the same harsh way of operations at Forest 27? Comrade, you and I have been following these stories critically, closely. Why haven't they made the same efforts on those that are at Forest 27 and many other, areas with a high profile people? Why haven't they moved in like that? The answer is simple. They don't have regard for the poor. They have no regard for the impoverished. And the poor have been used and abused for too long. We can't continue to live like that. Even the Bible says you should always defend the poor, protect those that are facing injustices. But you have a leadership that does not respect and follow what it preaches. It does exact opposite. I don't think it's fair. Yes, they can be moved, they can be taken elsewhere, but with a sense of dignity. And that must be done with utmost respect. And this has been lacking under this administration. Clearly, it's a government of foreigners.
Well, we continue to have that conversation on the Tuesday edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show, and in studio we're joined by Stanley Mubasa, National Youth Spokesperson from the Socialist Party. And now we get to also look at another story, interesting as it is, from Charleston Market, and see what is currently pertaining to that market as well. And we'll be back on the other side. But remember that you too can be part of the conversation by giving us your comments on our Facebook platform as well as our YouTube platform, not forgetting calls and texting. We'll be back on the other side, but let's get to look at that story in terms of the current happenings at Charleston Market.
Lusaka's Charleston Market shop owners have cried foul over an alleged move by the Lusaka City Council to hike levy charges from 220 kwacha to 800 kwacha per month, commencing in 2024. The aggrieved traders laments that the hike is unreasonable, as many failed to pay the current 220 kwacha levy due to poor business in the facility. The traders have accused Area Councillor Njomana Chimuka of initiating the hike in an attempted move to grab the shops from the owners, claiming they belong to the council, and the owners have abrogated the terms by renting them out.
What was at January, tika 800 sitingaikwanisa 800 chabwera bwanji ati tinangena ife mu field umu kufufuza kwapezeka kuti imwe mubera kanso mutenga ndalama yambiri vakanso mubapasa ndalama ing'ono so chawama baja bantu bamene bali mu mashopu bamene baja bakwanisa kulipira imwe ma 800 so bakwanisa kulipira kanso 800 chifukwa aya mashops aya amene yali mukati muno ni ya kanso.
Ife mashops kuno wanaikira from 220 to 800 kwacha. So 800, 220 mativuta kulipira. My 800 kwacha nyameti za kwani 800. Ine ndine hairdresser. Nina wana 6. Pakuti nipange ndrama chabi yolipira ya meneyo, yolipira shop 220. Na wana school, na wana wabidi boarding school.
One of the long-serving members of the market, Damian Mulipa, says the shops are not owned by the council, as they were only habilitated by the European Union in 2006 and handed back to the owners.
When the market finished, the structures were handed back to the previous occupiers, the previous owners. But the compensation issue was brought down because the compensation was in lieu of the new shops which were built. When this happened, the Ministry of Local Government never came to address the remaining issues. And this is what has brought all these problems, because the owners of the shops brought down were not compensated.
When contacted for a comment, LCC promised to give its position on the matter in due course. Equally, efforts to get a comment from accused Chakunkula Ward Area Councillor Chimuka Njomana proved futile as his phone went unanswered. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula.
Charleston market, where indeed traders are complaining that you see an increase from 200 kwacha to 800 kwachas rentals or levies for operating within the market is actually out of hand. That is one of the concerns that is coming there, and I know Vincent, you are part of the crew that went to film at Charleston market.
Yes, I was there, and what leaves question is what justification is there. Here they are saying 200 kwacha, 220 kwacha is what they are paying this year, and starting January they have to be paying 800 kwacha. How do you justify that increase?
Well,
and we are talking about the issues of the high cost of living. The dollar is doing us bad, and how do you milk such money from a poor trader?
There are all those concerns, but Mr. Mwasa, let's get to have your insight in terms of solutions that you're bringing on the table to such issues. We've seen that these issues have continued. Even in the previous administration, such issues were there. But what solution are you offering to the current administration in terms of providing a lasting solution that will not affect such traders, both of that are facing demolitions and those that are facing such calamities, where the council is saying, let's increase the levies?
Well, I think on the part of demolition, let me make it clear that the law is made for human beings, and human beings are not made for the law. So the law is made for the people and not people for the law. What that simply means that what we are seeing in Kamwara, what we are seeing at downtown, the best solution to offer there is that create trading spaces for our poor traders. That land, yes, may not be suitable for trading, but create environment where they can go and trade from. These people, as you may be aware, since they were removed from the streets, all of them are stranded and they're looking for alternative places to go and trade from. The idea behind those actions is because they simply want money to go and feed their families. So they are doing nearly everything possible they can to simply access money to provide for their families. What is causing this is poverty. If the issues of poverty are addressed, you will not see people in the streets. You will not see people trading in areas which are not meant for such, businesses. They will not go there. So our alternative, what we are telling this administration, we are told, surprisingly, we are told this government is a government of highly educated people, big brains, big thinkers in the UPNG. But what they are giving us today is the opposite. When they were in opposition, they seemed so intelligent that we thought immediately they win, all these things will be sorted out. Well, the Zambians today, all they want, we've been interacting with them, with the traders. We go there. We've got friends. Personally, I've got friends in Kamwala who trade in clothing, shoes, and all that. And I must also submit here that a colleague of mine was just telling me yesterday that his auntie lost about 10,000 kwacha, which was in one of the makeshifts, because she left the money there. And another also is also sick, critically ill at UTH. Because of the same, what happened? They lost money which they had left in the makeshift. Our solution is that we need a lot of trading spaces created for our traders to go and be able to trade in those areas. You cannot remove people from an area and take them nowhere. The criminality will continue. The problem will continue.
But they run away from markets.
They run away from the markets?
Yes.
Yes, comrade, they can run away from the market. I'm aware of that. And the reason is very simple. We just watched a clip here where the Lusaka City Council is saying is going to increase. They are saying, the Lusaka City Council has said they are going to increase from 220 kwacha to 800 kwacha. Today, our marketeers have got difficulties, even in city market, to even pay an amount of money as low as 300 kwacha. They have difficulties. Why should they continue to trade in an area which is too expensive for them to make money out of? You can go and trade in a market as long as you are able to realize a certain amount of money for you to be able to rent in that place and also to feed for yourself. But if you cannot feed, you are paying, let's say, 500 kwacha as rent, and then at the end of the month you are making 300 kwacha. What is the benefit of you trading in such an area? These are the genuine concerns that these marketeers are raising. It doesn't make any sense. That is suicidal.
But the argument has been that these traders, when they want to put up such structures, they don't consult the local authorities. They just do it out of their own will. They're like, okay, I feel I can trade from that area minus consulting anyone.
This is also because the local authority, the planning department, has been very sleepy. If the local authority is proactive, you will not wait for the traders to put up an illegal structure and off they finish. They begin trading, they trade for years. That's when you realize that where they're trading from is an illegal place. It can't be. It can't be. There must have been a cartel of thieves and criminals within the structures also allowing this. Why should the Lusaka City Council reach a point where they allow the structures to be built, and when they finish, and they even tax them? No, comrade, there are a lot of questions here that need to be answered. They even go there and levy these people who trade from an illegal place. How do you levy somebody trading from an illegal place? You are legalizing the illegality. So the Lusaka City Council should take blame. This government must take blame for these actions. If indeed it was wrong from the beginning, you cannot allow somebody to go and trade from an illegal place and get levies out of them. When you do that, you are legalizing it. So this is why this has continued. Of course,
let's get to pick this call. Good morning, you're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Your name and where you're calling us from. Good morning. Good morning. Since we've lost that call, but you see, you are talking about issues of legalizing and the council not being proactive. Where exactly is a mismatch in terms of the traders conducting their business and the local authority tying in providing some of the provision that these people should follow? Because a lot will tell you to say, I don't see any reason as why I should go and see the Lusaka City Council for me to ask for trading space.
Well, people can say that, especially if the Lusaka City Council is not proactive. You know that we have got a lot of people who want to conduct businesses in different forms. And sometimes also what causes this is that the procedure which is there for them to attain, for them to be given these trading places is very bureaucratic. Maybe some of them, if you talk to these people, they will tell you, for me to be given this trading place, I needed to bribe somebody. I spent 10,000 kwacha, I spent 5,000 kwacha. These stories are real. People, some of them have to bribe. And it's not even them bribing. The people in charge of these issues are the ones soliciting for bribes. And when you are desperate, you do desperate things. And people are made to bribe those people who are supposed to give them these spaces. All you need to do is apply, follow the procedure. But they will deliberately delay the process so that you are compelled to force them. You are compelled to, to see bribing as the only alternative that you are going to have. And in the absence of that, there are some, there are even some trading places. Reports are there that some trading places which are not even recognized by the Lusaka City Council, but people are being levied, and it's all because of corruption. So these people have got every reason to go and begin trading illegally. It is wrong, but they have to do so because they have to survive. You have to understand them. So it is all blame on leadership. It's leadership that is failing these people. If leadership was not failing these people, all these cases would have been resolved. And we sympathize with them as Socialist Party. We feel bad because it is wrong. People must feed. They must eat. And if a law does not allow them, if there are pieces of laws that don't allow them to eat, then what are those laws for? Laws to perpetuate poverty? Laws to cause more harm? More danger, more damage to the people? It can't be. So even the laws, the bylaws, the laws, they must be made in such a way that they must make people's lives easy, simple, and habitable.
Okay, now we are talking of issues of maybe empowerment. Don't you think we should be more creative and more innovative to get into some other businesses or some other venues that can generate us funds? Because my argument is coming from the fact that Lusaka is running out of land, and there's a possibility that the council has no more land to allocate to traders.
I remember the Ministry of Local Government was bragging and boasting that I think they had a lot of trading places. But these are trading places which are too expensive for people, for our traders to fit in. And so they have to abandon them. Maybe they should be able to find trading places which can be high cost and low cost, and also just bring down the prices of these trading places so that people are able to occupy the available trading places which are there, if at all they're even there. We cannot continue to talk about the issues of trading places and limitations. Yes, we have got a big population, but even those that trade from there are still facing difficulties. The issue is about creating more markets. Create more markets, and away from markets, just create an enabling environment where people can conduct in different businesses. It's not everyone who is going to be a marketeer. Not everyone is going to be, in the markets. It is very difficult. There are levies to be paid which are exorbitant, and people cannot manage. They are better off to go and trade illegally, where they are able to earn a living.
Okay, on a lighter note, I'm beginning to think we should move the capital to somewhere else, so that so that people maybe they can shift to.
Everyone is coming to Lusaka because look at other towns, and the majority of people that are coming to Lusaka are those from Copper Belt. This is a fact. Today, if you conducted a survey, a lot of people, even those who came here to Lusaka for school, when they finish, they don't go back to Lusaka. No, this is just a fact. This is just a fact. When they leave their provinces, they come to Lusaka, they don't go back because they believe here there are opportunities. And indeed, if you look at activities happening on the Copper Belt province is grounded.
I mean, is such happenings in terms of demolition for traders? What could be the right step to be taken in terms of maybe providing empowerment packages to these traders that have been affected? Because as it is, they're being regarded as illegal. They're not registered.
Yes, they are not registered because those that are supposed to register them have not been doing their job. So those who are charged with that responsibility, let them do their job.
Well, hold your thoughts. Let's get to pick this call. Good morning, you're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning, I'm calling from Mpika.
Sure. Go ahead with a contribution all the way from Mpika.
Yes, from Mpika. Let me contribute with my language, my mother tongue.
Kutimu abomfya tatu.
na tote na sana ndipo kula kama mfumo nangu mwema lila ndio kwa sababu kwa ndipo kwa watu hapa kuna mpaka kikanzo
mkoa
shishi nkasema chapu kiwaisa kutolela kesho sisi kaboneka number 2 Lusaka sisi kwa kilio upepo kujatio abantu waita utaleti lugani wanapoka leti very true so wakunya majanga data izaje ukela sisi ni mubala papo tumuni aya isungira pandi shoku website ubwika shina ukosa uwa pemo munta ajamala cha asombele kwenda apai kupa kuja panga nombanga moya mutashana pale pale kabwe nishibale papa bale igwa so bakateka bisibali bate masarba kule mungu na ndapoye na mbogo kwati muke kosani Lusaka na mama tangu zanini mbale shishi ya bantu because esi bale moja mokuja bomfu okoseba batata bagani kunde kiti usheze danga baita batanga para bane bungani bakasunga shakwa so icho chikara ya bantu bashifude bakateke kurangi hai bafule babloke bati ine shipenzi bayabantu abengi eno bekalize ero buteko bwe sadake ndishabantu hose because that is possible senti very sure se tapati ale pole isofi ya bantu bale bomba bale nyona mutakuti abantu balira na mbabe ni balisungira so ile ni papa tatana kuba kesa besta bagani kombo kutira wonku leko ya abantu na wonku leko anja abantu bale fale kusinga je tabale kwa bale ya tabale kwa bale kuinga bale kwa babantu kusinga ni ndefu ya pebashi abe ni bale mwandishi ukulia abali ma office yosi icho bale bombe abantu nombanga bapanga bakuti ayabeba jaji abeli chambantu inchi what are the laws na usenti chikanto inchi ifensi haikokia kubapesa huku wapo abantu number 2 natu watashikie sisi tekwaishidela kwenye adabu tekwaishidela kwa alipete project yasha dumu haba ni watu bapanga fuel kukuma plastic so baba so baba shai kundu kona kili amwaba kuti eko bambu okama plastic pareshtisha hapo watu wamuna mokudi so ile waji ile bomba kula katika na kani kongo kukina neka kulempa fungu kujeke babo ni abantu kota abantu bali bakote kai pa ndachemwa aba le chiteso ya just help ni campaign them ninga shamba ni bakale wa bakale alela ndakala kusipachi ile ulela ndapata kusipachi no basi foyela nasipata amani sisi ambewa jiboto mtu ule tonganya afuje ataka kupotea ile mburushi na totera ngwa
natotera sana right na mwewe nokuti mwaisa ngefe wachita watata kufumina kumpikana mwewe ni mwatu tumina mwatu pera messages yenu pa Facebook at a later stage tukala yabelenga so that we get to also understand some of your concerns that you are bringing out in terms of the issues relating to the demolition that is being witnessed in some parts of Lusaka. Yes, and I know you are about to make a point on something, Cardinal, but he's come out with, I think, one point to say there's need to ensure that there's respect that is also accorded to these local traders, unlike foreign nationals. Your take on that issue?
The Socialist Party, long before even the UPND won the elections, has always observed that the UPND administration is a government of foreigners. When we say these are puppets, people argue with us. This is a government that is delivering to the foreigners. It is doing the opposite to the Zambians. So when Zambians see what is happening today, they should not be shocked. And the Zambians today should not expect too much from the UPND. In fact, they should not expect anything from this administration. They have proven it in word and they have proven it in deed. Today, the UPND has brought change. The change they have brought is demolition of poor traders' makeshifts. Instead of giving them an alternative to say, mwala mugombere hapa, muzasebenzera hapa, mukasipezerako pokutya, baenda abapuganya vintemba vabantu, vija vintemba vija kupanga chintemba chimozi chicha cha visimbi, chichita cost more than 10,000 kwachi. Then yamene boma futi. Ikambati no ma traders ma marketeers yendani mchite apply ku CDF, yendani mchite apply ku CEEC. Bamene baja bantu bene bafuna kuti bapase tumaloni, tumandalama twamene under CDF yamene yo ene bakambako. Futi ndene bayindo pwanyira futi vijapima. So one will begin asking questions. What does President Hichilema really think of these people? What is the policy direction of this government in terms of helping traders? Because in one breath they are saying, go and get loans, go and get small amounts of money through CDF and CEEC to boost your businesses. This is the reason why they created the Ministry of Small, Medium and something like Enterprise, headed by Honorable Elias Mubanga. Honorable Elias Mubanga today and his entire ministry, they have got no job to do. Because if they had a job, those traders would have been a big assignment to that ministry. That ministry today, as we speak, would have been working closely with the Ministry of Local Government. Instead of destroying those makeshifts, they would have found bare land somewhere where they can move those people. They say they form cooperatives. People have formed cooperatives. The only thing they remember UPND for, those traders, is they remember them for cooperatives. They formed cooperatives. Up to now, they've not been given. They're still encouraging them to form cooperatives. Those cooperatives would have played a role in giving them those loans, give them the same funds. When they give them the same funds, they'll be boosting the businesses. I don't know if people are getting them, my point. It's a situation where, on the other hand, you are told, form cooperatives, invest, conduct a business, you do it, we're going to give you a booster. Instead of being given a booster, you are being given a mazembe to come and destroy the same business. I don't think it makes sense. I don't know. But for me, it doesn't make sense. And it should not make sense to any reasonable Zambian.
Your concluding remarks in 30 seconds, even as we wrap up.
In 30 seconds, I bring messages of hope from Dr. Fred Membe. He stands with you. He cherishes the loving people of Zambia, the traders, whose only offense is to invest their little coins into the small businesses, which President Hichilema has said he doesn't like to trade with the poor people. They must be demolished only for big, businesses. President Fred Membe stands with those people, and the Socialist Party stands with those traders. And we are saying, we will not come there and demolish those makeshifts. We will move you to a trading place where you can conduct a business, where there are toilets, where those people who want to buy vegetables, who want to buy they can come and buy there in their comfort, because they know to say, you are in a decent place and you are in an environment where you feel respected. Not only on so abuka kada, no pay this. Comrade, today, UPND cadres, last week I was in Chawama market, UPND cadres are taxing people who are trading in Chawama market. Baledi pila ama UPND cadres. Baliko ku Chawama coach. Na ba many traders when wakwanyira, they are being taxed even by UPND cadres. Cadrism is there. So we are going to end cadrism and not this lip service being given by President Hichilema, who is presiding over a corrupt government. As we have seen, we are aware that comrade, the Public Accounts Committee recently exposed a corrupt scandal where over 600,000 kwacha meant for purchase of booze was misapplied, misappropriated to subsistence allowances. If we talk about corruption, corruption is just right between the nose and the mouth of President Hichilema. He can sniff it. He knows it. Let him stop corruption.
Thank you so much for making time with us, Mr. Mugasa. But even before we go, let's get to look at some of the comments that have been flocking our Facebook page, with something coming through from Simajondo Nyamataman. A mistake the UPND party and government is making is that they are trying to implement these policies on Zambian people, which are copyrights from the whites, open brackets, Bazungu, close brackets. Zambia is not Europe, Zambia is Africa. Thank you so much for that comment. There's also a comment from Ezekiel Mwanza who says what they did was very bad, totally wrong. You can't just wake up early or to think of destroying someone's property. No, that's inhuman. We also have got a comment from Alex XK Young who says 250 to 800 kwacha is just too much. I'm sure this is a story relating to the Charleston market, where the Lusaka City Council is alleged to be promoting an increase of levies from 220 rather, to 800 kwacha by January 2024. These are other comments, and we do appreciate for even those that made it to come through via phone call as well as giving us your text messages. We say thank you a lot. This has been the Tuesday edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Remember, we continue to follow up on the issue relating to the demolition, and hopefully by tomorrow we can also have an interesting party in studio just to help us understand more on this issue and get more insight on in terms of what exactly has to be happened, what exactly has to be done rather. There has been Nelson Zulu and Vincent Piri on the other side. We've had a good time, and hopefully you did. Keep it on Camnet TV. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.